Everyone came to celebrate Amara's success. But just when she thought her painful past was finally behind her, an unexpected guest walked through the doors. June Park was Seoul's most powerful young CEO. Yet tonight, he wasn't here for business. He carried a mysterious gift, meant only for Amara. Amara checked the guest list again. His name wasn't there. She hadn't invited him. Her staff hadn't invited him. So how did he get inside? June held out the black velvet box. But the way he looked at her made Amara realize something terrifying. This wasn't really a birthday gift. 5 years earlier, Amara walked out of her own company carrying everything she had left. Her ideas were stolen, her reputation destroyed, and her dreams nearly buried. And standing among her birthday guests was Victor, the man responsible. He had stolen her greatest idea and believed she would never recover. But Victor made one terrible mistake. He underestimated Amara. She turned every rejection, every betrayal, and every sleepless night into fuel and rebuilt herself. Then June Park entered her world. He wasn't just another billionaire. Somehow, this mysterious CEO knew things about Amara's past that even she had forgotten. Years ago, before wealth and betrayal separated them, Amara knew a Korean boy who made her a promise. She had forgotten his face, but he had never forgotten hers. Tonight was supposed to be a celebration, but beneath the smiles and champagne, Amara had prepared something Victor could never anticipate: the truth. Victor approached her with a perfect smile and empty congratulations. But Amara saw through him immediately. Behind his confidence was something she had never seen before: fear. Then June placed the gift on the table. The entire room fell silent. Nobody moved. Everyone wanted to know what a billionaire CEO had brought to Amara's birthday. It wasn't jewelry. Inside the box were documents, a data drive, and an old photograph. 3 pieces of evidence capable of destroying 5 years of carefully protected lies. The first document proved Victor had lied. Amara had created the original concept and registered it before Victor ever presented it to investors. For 5 years, Victor had convinced everyone that Amara was the failure. Now, in front of the same people who abandoned her, the truth was finally impossible to ignore. Victor immediately denied everything. He accused June of fabricating evidence. But his voice was shaking, and the room could see exactly what he was trying to hide. June had prepared for every lie. Emails, financial records, timestamps, and private communications connected Victor directly to the theft. His entire story collapsed before their eyes. Amara stepped forward and finally spoke. "I lost my company, but I never lost myself. You stole my idea, Victor. You could never steal my future." She didn't scream. She didn't insult him. She simply walked past him. Because Amara had discovered the most powerful revenge of all, becoming successful without him. Victor couldn't understand it. He turned to June and demanded one answer. "Why would a man like you risk everything just to protect her?" June looked directly at Amara and revealed the truth. "Because she saved my life when we were children, and I promised I would never forget her." Amara had forgotten that childhood moment. June hadn't. While she believed their friendship had disappeared forever, he had spent years searching for the girl who saved him. But June's evidence wasn't Amara's only surprise. She revealed that she wasn't rebuilding Victor's company. She had created something completely new and much bigger. Amara's new fashion empire united African creativity with Korean craftsmanship. Victor had stolen her first dream, but he could never steal the vision she created afterward. Then Amara discovered something hidden beneath the gift box. A secret compartment. Inside was an envelope, and June clearly intended its message for her alone. She opened the note. Only 4 words were written: "You were never defeated." And suddenly, every painful memory she had buried came rushing back. For the first time, the room wasn't looking at Amara with pity. They were looking at her with respect. She had entered as a survivor and emerged as a leader. By morning, Victor's empire began collapsing. Investors withdrew, investigations started, and the fortune he built from stolen ideas began disappearing before his eyes. But victory left Amara with one final question. Would she spend the rest of her life carrying anger, or finally choose a future that belonged entirely to her? She chose freedom, not because Victor deserved forgiveness, but because Amara refused to let the man who hurt her control another second of her life. Later, June asked why she was smiling. Amara looked across the city and answered, "Because nobody gets to decide who I become anymore." But something had changed between them. June hadn't only returned to protect Amara, and Amara was beginning to wonder whether his presence meant something more. Within days, the world noticed them. The mysterious Korean billionaire and the brilliant Afro-Korean CEO had become Seoul's most talked-about business partnership. Reporters wanted answers. Was June her investor? Her childhood friend? Or something deeper? But Amara refused to give the world a story that wasn't theirs to tell. Then Amara received an international fashion award. Standing beneath the lights, she finally understood what true revenge meant, becoming unstoppable. Her story soon inspired thousands. Young entrepreneurs told Amara that watching her rise from betrayal gave them courage to start again, even after losing everything. And through every success, June remained beside her. He never demanded recognition. He simply kept the promise he had made to a little girl many years ago. They had survived the past and built something extraordinary together. But as they watched the Seoul sunset, neither realized their greatest challenge was still coming. 3 weeks later, an anonymous envelope arrived at Amara's office. There was no return address. Inside was a photograph and a name she hadn't heard in years. Then Amara discovered something terrifying. Victor hadn't acted alone. Someone had financed him, guided him, and carefully designed the betrayal from behind the scenes. Someone had been watching Amara for years. Someone who knew about her childhood, her company, her family, and even the promise June had made. 5 years ago, this discovery would have terrified her. Today, it only made her stronger. Amara had survived the first betrayal, and she was ready for the next. She was no longer the woman carrying a cardboard box out of a corporate building. She was a CEO, a creator, and everything the people who betrayed her feared. Strangely, everything had started with a birthday gift from a man she never invited. But that gift had opened a door to a secret far more dangerous than Victor's betrayal. Amara's name soon became famous across continents. But behind the headlines, she knew the truth. Someone had orchestrated her downfall, and that person was still free. Then June confessed something he had hidden. He hadn't come to her birthday simply to expose Victor. He came because he knew the real enemy was finally moving again. The gift had returned what was stolen: her truth, her confidence, and her name. But Amara now understood the bigger mission. Victor wasn't the mastermind. He was only the beginning. Amara had won her first battle. But somewhere in the darkness, the person behind her betrayal was still watching. And this time, they were coming directly for her.